So our slogan is rewire your brain, rewrite your future. So rewiring your brain is in the understanding or underlying concept in deep learning, neural network. As you wire your brain more, you train your brain more, you get a bigger, better estimate, you'll make a good decisions, you'll get a good inspirations. That's what we believe. The training computer is the same as it's training our brains. That's what we're gonna help our students, our community build. So I should say that there's a lot of demand is currently going, and some people worry that, oh, we are already saturated in data science. There was a hype, are we done? And as you see, some industries, they're hype in time to time, like QA engineers, there was a hype, and currently some new hype jobs. But people worry that is this hype in data science will just saturate, go down. But as you see industry as it grows, we say opposite. And I give some of the statistics. So according to like a report by Grandview Research, in 2001 to 2028, that market in AI space is gonna increase 40%, $62 billion in 2020. This is just the AI contribution to the market in all different sectors. And this is very new and growing. And McKinsey projected another one by 2030. McKinsey predicted there will be $13 trillion the economy. And Gartner predicted in 2020 alone, AI eliminated 1.8 million jobs, but created 2.3 million jobs. I always give this example that when people worried about, are we just not gonna have jobs, even AI jobs or software jobs? Like Google, just this year, 25th year of Google Foundation. And Google is like employing more than 200,000 people. Before that, there was no one employed by Google. So Google created new jobs, just Google 200,000. Facebook created 100,000 jobs. So Amazon, Apple, all the Silicon Valley companies, they created a lot of jobs. They were in exist 10, 20 years back. Even Zoom, that platform we are in now. So all this comes with the AI and new technology. Yes, some jobs are going away, but as you see, new jobs are coming in. And our claim, and specifically my claim, is that the AI is in the center of the new century's job market. So you could be good software engineer, this will be always needed. But as data increases, data-driven platform increases, there will be more and more jobs in AI. So yes, there are just a lot of jobs will be lost, but people will eventually have to shift to learn high-tech skill sets in IT skill set, and specifically AI and data science skill sets. So just briefly, that data science, AI is just interchangeably used. And sometimes I use AI, sometimes I use data science, and people have different understanding, different places. I also use here interchangeably, okay? I won't go in details this terminology, but yeah. And there's machine learning in subcategory, deep learning the subcategory. And there's so many industries using it. And we are, especially in Magnimind Academy, we are really trained in AI in medicine, AI in finance, AI in marketing. We have very good specialties because so much of our core faculty has a research in there, has done a lot of projects in that space. And this is the distribution AI by sectors. And some of the sectors you expect there will be a lot is not there yet because there'll be a lot of growth in that space. And data science involved with so many of applications in the market, computing to visualization, science, and so many research and consulting space. So I give you another statistics on the job market that a lot of people, like based on Kegel's survey, MLDSA survey, a lot of people just complaining about their hands-on experience in traditional education. And Coursera in 2019, another survey Coursera made, 57% of data science learners, they complain about real-world experience missing in their skill sets. And in 2018, Google showed that in hiring process, traditional academic qualification is not enough. And therefore, real-world skills and practical skills are key. And we've been giving traditional programs. We're still giving those, theoretical fundamental knowledge, but we ended up, identifying problems in three main categories. There's a gap with people what to learn, what is trained there. Especially when we survey more than 10 master's program of top schools in data science, there's a lot of gap in real world experience. They got too academic and people getting lost in that transition. And their limited mentorship, there is no one-on-one guidance, no support like that, and definitely experience. There is a chicken egg issue now. You go jobs, as you know, the people are asking for experience. Well, I need a junior developer with experience. How is gonna junior developer get the experience? Where are they going to get that experience from? So unfortunately, this is such dilemmas. And one way or other, people try to overcome that. And we are addressing this in our programs. So coming to our program. So we have a full stack data science program. We give A to Z of data science fundamentals. That's for beginners and intermediates. We are not introducing that program here. But this one, we are introducing the people, they've been studying data science themselves. They are more intermediate, advanced level. We actually do projects with them, with several mentors. And as mentors from Silicon Valley and in academic. So we train them in so many projects with Dr. Geran will mention briefly. And we give them unique projects and we give them internship experience with our affiliate companies. And they will also have an access to our full stack data science bootcamp courses and full package available for them if they need an access. So I will give a pause here, introduce Dr. Geran. He will talk about his part. He has years of experiences, data science. He's been faculty in Kaisei University in Korea, in Santa Clara University, San Jose University. He's been doing a lot of research with Stanford AI Medicine. He's very experienced in this program. He is a fantastic actual teacher and instructor as well. So I will give him a chance to talk about specific part of the program.
Thank you very much, Dr. Badai. Thank you for the introduction. Hello, everyone. Very nice to be here with you guys. I'm just going to keep my presentation, my part of the presentation short. My goal is introducing what we are doing here at Magnimind in the mentorship program. Very briefly introducing our program. And if you have any questions later on, maybe I can be more specific as I'm answering your questions. But before I go to my presentation, this is a slide that I always show to my students whenever I start talking about a new topic. So from time to time, I update this figure. I think you know Andrew Ng. He used to be a professor at Stanford, and also he's the co-founder of Coursera. And he's a very active person in the AI domain. And most of us learned about machine learning from his online lectures. available at YouTube. He was using Octave, right? So MATLAB, like a version of MATLAB, teaching machine learning. So everybody enjoys actually his classes. I also enjoy his classes. So what I did was last March. So I haven't updated this figure yet, but I don't think the trend has changed. What I did was I just counted how many people actually recorded, how many people watched his lectures on YouTube. So what I found is after a couple of lectures, people who are watching the videos, the number of people who are watching the videos is decreasing sharply. So this tells us something. Actually, it's a very important trend I see among people, students, and also people, professionals who are planning to change their careers, get into a new domain, and then thinking that all that information is available out there. So I don't need anything else but just to find the information on the internet and then just watch it. Actually, that is true. So much of information, knowledge is available. But what is lacking is, I think, someone who is, encouraging us, sitting with us, telling us what to do next, showing us the way, right? So without that, I think most of us are losing the motivation and then stopping in the middle. So, and that's what I observe among thousands of people who start watching the videos and then suddenly, after a couple of videos, they stop watching them any further. So that's one thing that made us think about these programs. So our mentorship program, the program is divided into two main sections. The first section is getting you guys prepared for our internship program. So our program is going to last in total 15 weeks. The internship module, which is the fourth module, the second section, the fourth module is going to take 9 weeks. So this is where you're going to actually work on a real industry project, all right? So, but our job before you get into this internship program is, our job is to prepare you as much as possible to work on this project. So when you join the program, you don't know, and then we don't know also, what kind of a project you're going to work, because we have to know you, you have to know us. And then we are going to see the projects available for you. And then there is this mix and match. Maybe you are going to focus on one topic. You're going to like maybe medical application. So rather than say stock prices, right? So it depends on your interests as well as available projects. So we don't know, right? So at this point, that's why we start with these first 3 modules to prepare you for this main section of the program, which is the internship. So in the first module, what we experienced with the students that we had so far is that, so first of all, we try to pick students, actually we don't try. So we pick students who we think are going to be successful in the program, okay? And then for that, we ask for some background in machine learning, in statistics, in Python. So without that background, it's going to be very difficult. So this is not a program that is going to be designed for giving you lectures. So this is a program that you actively are going to be doing projects. And then a mentor is going to follow you the process, is going to give you help and guide you, but not going to lecture you. So lecturing is different. If you're interested in lecturing, receiving lectures, we have a different program for you. But what we do is, when we first get started, we see that there are some gaps in students' knowledge. When we see that we already have our own recorded full stack program, where we have, which I can show you actually, we have our machine learning, we have our stats, we have our deep learning, we have our Python, we have our SQL lectures, all recorded, all the material, everything is there. So if we see that there is certain gaps in the students' background, so we recommend that students go through our online lectures first, and then we don't leave the students alone there. So if you have any questions as you are going through the material, we are going to answer your questions. Still, we're going to answer your questions, but there is no lecturing. Lectures are available, materials available, recorded for you. So then, if we see that you are ready to start with the projects, we start with the first module. The first module has 2 projects. Sometimes if I see students are fast enough, so I can give students 3 projects, sometimes 4 projects, depending on, so each module is going to take 2 weeks. So there are 2 things here. One is if you are really, eager to finish more projects, you can definitely do so in 2 weeks, okay? But my experience is that 2 weeks will not be so long for you to actually finish 2 projects, okay? So sometimes this may lag maybe a couple of days, sometimes 1 week, depending on your schedule and then how fast you are going. So that is gonna be something in between you and the mentor, okay? But we don't want this first 3 modules lag too much, because then the last module is going to be very delayed and you're gonna be tired, okay? So we don't want that. So the first module is going to be machine learning projects. What type of projects? Well, my experience, I can take any simple project, any cookbook project. I'm not saying that our projects are cookbook, but I can tell you, okay? So take any cookbook project where you can find anywhere. I can easily dig that project and then turn it into a really, a project that you're going to really spend effort on it. All right. So most of the time, what we do is we do things on the surface and then think that we are done. That's what my observation. But actually, when you dig and ask questions and then approach solution in a different way, things get more difficult. Okay. So projects. Let me take one example. So let's say it's a recommendation. You're building a recommendation system, right? So depending on how you are doing, so your mentor, your instructor can ask you to approach the question in a way, the problem or the project in a way. Let's say you can approach the problem by recommending based on item correlations between the items, or based on correlation between the customers. You can recommend the items the customer already purchased, and then you will always recommend a new item, or you can recommend items that customer may have already purchased, depending on the frequency of customer making these purchases. You can incorporate RFM into your recommendations. You can incorporate the price of the item in your recommendations. So I can make this project really, really challenging if I see that the student is actually moving forward. Okay? So after the first module, we have the second module, which we think is extremely important, NLP module, which you might also see in the industry. There is a huge demand on people with NLP experience. So again, you're going to have 2 projects in the NLP module. The third module, I call it deep learning, but again, this depends on the student. If we see the student needs more of machine learning projects, and after our conversation with the student, we can continue with machine learning module instead of a deep learning module. Or we can simply go ahead and start with the deep learning module. So in the deep learning module, again, there are options for you. If you like, you can go and learn on, do a project on medical domain. So, and then you will see, you will experience maybe that medical projects are much more fun, right? So it's going to open doors for you to a different domain that you never worked before. So this happened with our students, actually. These are experiences from our students. So, or I can simply give you a deep learning project, which is a continuation of your NLP project, for example, and then you're going to get into text mining, right? So depending on, again, what your interests are, and then how your mentor sees fit, they are going to give you deep learning projects. Again, my observation is that most of the time students have good knowledge of machine learning, stat and Python, but when it comes to deep learning, so I see a lack of experience with deep learning. If that happens, then again, we're going to ask our student to go through the deep learning recordings. And then this will take a while, and then come back and then finish the third module. So as you see, the program is 15 weeks, but we are focusing on individual students' success in the program. And let me tell you this: if you don't apply, yourself, this program is not for you. That I can tell. Okay? So it is a mutual understanding of, I'm going to put my effort as an instructor, as a mentor. You're going to put your effort, and then hopefully we're going to succeed at the end. So this is what I wanted to go over. Actually, I have a couple of more slides, but let me tell you one more thing. So what are we doing during the meetings with the mentor? So I don't know if anybody asked you these questions as you're working on your projects, but you're working on a problem, but did you actually understand the problem correctly? Okay, how are you approaching the problem? What if you approach the problem in a different way? Okay, so these are things that your mentor is going to suggest. How did you handle the pre-processing? Are you being really careful about that? Is there any information leakage? Right, so your mentor is going to actually check what you're doing in terms of pre-processing. Are you creating new features or are you eliminating some of the features? What is your criteria to do that? Then what kind of model are you choosing? Why are you choosing that model? So these are, again, things that your mentor is going to be carefully going over with you. How are you evaluating your model? Did you check your data set is balanced or not? If it's not balanced, what is your solution for that? Why did you pick this specific metric for this project? Maybe that metric is not working so well here. And specifically, this is extremely important. How is your code quality? Anybody, did you have anyone actually go over your code before? Is your code well organized? Is your code efficient? So are you using, can you handle this using 2 nested for loops? So, are you using Git to do version controlling, right? So these are the things maybe you can talk with your mentor or project coordinator. And this is something that we leave it to the last module 4, deployment part. And again, depending on how you're doing, so at the very last part, you're going to be asked to deploy your model maybe in the cloud. But are you actually ready for deployment? Sometimes I may ask students actually start deploying the model before the 4th module. Okay, so these are things that your mentor is going to be talking with you, asking from you. Again, this is a demanding 15 weeks program. I observe a tremendous change in students, the way they started, the way they finished the program. There is a huge change, a very steep change actually, in their performance when they are approaching the problems. So I hope you guys are going to enjoy the program if you join. Okay, thank you so much for listening. That's all from my side.
It's great. I will talk more about the internship part, and after maybe Semi talk about how our practice interviews goes and how it's insights like Semi has been working on C3 AI. And this is a really great company. They do a variety of AI work for so many big companies. And he has also a master's from MIT. And he has a good understanding and insights of market. And he's one of our mentors / instructors. And he's doing a lot of those interviews with our students, practice interviews and preparing students for the program. So I will let Semi talk about his insights and what he's thinking about that.
Awesome. Thank you for the introduction, Murat and Yassine. So like you were saying, my name's Semi. Maybe I'll give a bit of an introduction about myself and my background, and then I'll talk about, like Murat was saying, me leading the mock interviews, kind of what I'm looking at, how I prepare everybody. But just on my end, I was actually in probably most of the people in this call's position a few years ago. I actually have an engineering background from my undergrad. I did space engineering. I wanted to be an astronaut, but things have changed. But I still had, the technical skills, math and science, and I had built up a bit of coding. So I went down the master's path and got my master's from MIT in analytics and data science. And while I was doing that, same thing that's been highlighted before, you can feel really confident with the fundamentals, with data science, your programming skills, your machine learning, statistics, and so on. But the interview can be a completely different beast. And I personally see it as a separate examination that you want to prepare for. And the search space of everything you could prepare for feels huge and overwhelming. That's why I spent a lot of time figuring out what are the best resources, how to best prepare. I even did that with my peers. So I feel confident now knowing how to help people trying to break into data scientists or even just trying to find a position that's better for them. And I'll walk you through that in a little bit. On my end, what I do at C3AI, I've been there for over a year now. We focus a lot on deployment of models, like Yassine was talking about. So there's the development process, but for us, we have an application that sits on top of a CRM. Basically, salespeople use it and they want to have some AI insights of when a business deal might close. Why does our model think it'll win or lose? What is their forecast going to be for the month? So the front to back of feature engineering and data ingestion to model development, and then deploying that in production is what I work on. And I'm happy to talk about that. Now, I'll share a screen here real quick. I've given actually a couple of presentations on YouTube on basically how to ace your data science interviews. Feel free to watch those if you are curious. But the biggest thing I try to highlight, and I'll just highlight in this call, is, when I'm doing mock interviews with yourself, I also do interviews at C3AI. There's always things a company is going to look for, and data science can be very broad, almost a blanket term, like that nice diagram that was showed, where it's data science, but then it can be machine learning or deep learning and so on. So I try and actually understand, what are your interests? Do you want to go into more machine learning, deep learning, maybe generative AI? Do you want to go more on the product side where you're doing a lot of experimentation? And to me, I see it as the data science job function spectrum, where they will want to see, and you'll be expected to have different skills depending on what the job is. So the first step is me understanding what you want. And then from there, I'll work with you and construct a mock interview from the, many interviews I myself have done, and I see what it's like. I'll try and create at the very least a 60-minute, this is what I would call typically the phone screen interview, where they'll cover a wide breadth of topics, machine learning, case studies, maybe Python and SQL. They'll want to know your background. They'll probably want to see what experience do you have in machine learning projects. And can you walk me through it in depth? Because a lot of the time, unfortunately, we're all very excited to go into data science, but people have a tendency to do projects, but not go into sufficient depth to really understand, okay, what was the motivation? What did you try when this didn't work? What did you try when this didn't work? And that really, if you can do that, the interviewer will really love that because it shows your expertise. And the reason for this is another slide I like to show is the path to a data science job is quite long and quite rigorous, especially when you're trying to break in that typical catch-22. They want experience for an entry-level role, but you don't have experience. You need the role to get experience. There's ways we can work around that, but front to back, I try and help people with resumes, the job hunt itself, understanding the online assessment and what the recruiter phone calls will be, what the technical phone screen will look like. What are they going to ask you in the interview? How should you prepare? Are you ready for live coding? Are you ready to walk through a machine learning case study? And then generally at the end of these interviews in real life is what they call a virtual onsite, 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6 hours of interviews where they go into details in specific areas just to really evaluate you and your knowledge. So I just want to help everyone and help you guys be prepared for that as much as possible. Make sure that what you know and everything you've learned from this program comes across in the best possible way when you're doing the interview. So ultimately, you can land that job in data science that you've been looking at. So for me, that's just a brief intro on kind of what I do there. I can throw it back to Dr. Bade and let me know if there's any questions.
Okay, thank you, Semi. If they have questions, I will direct that to you. And I will talk about more internship part, which Alex is our current student. Now we are actually working on matching with the company, the internship. So he's looking for a more variety of options to look at it, but sometimes generating options is taking time because we have a limited companies and spots. So Alex is current student. He's gone through the part which Dr. Jaran has talked about it, and he can give us his insights, what his experience so far in the program.
Yes, hello, thank you, Dr. Bidet. No, yeah, so I initially was honestly looking for a program because I already come from a boot camp program, and I came from the Columbia University Data Analytics Visualization Coding Bootcamp program. And there, like my whole goal was honestly to become a data scientist. But the thing is, you can't really learn everything within 6 months, in my opinion. And even after that, I actually even got myself hired and stuff like that. But I was still lacking a lot of the data science knowledge and just practical applications. And so I was even looking for another program, and I came across Magnimind Academy. I was a bit hesitant at first, I do admit that. But when I actually met with Professor Yashin and Bidet, and they talked about what they're going to go through with the program, the for each project, like for the for natural language processing project, I worked with Nihel. She was which she's I don't know if she's here, but but it's like I worked with Nihel with that project, and the thing is, it's not like in a boot camp program you get a project and then there's already step-by-step guidelines on what you got to do. It's more of they give you like the raw form of data, and then they tell you it's like, okay, you got to start from here, and okay, what are you going to do from here? Let's establish let's first get a functioning model, and then from there keep working at it, tweaking it, optimizing it, adding more additional parameters, adjusting the hyperparameters. And from my experience, it's like, and any question I had, I would just simply either message them and they would hop on a call. We had weekly scheduled meetings, but as well as if they even, if I just sent them a message, hey, I have a quick question, I'm just a little confused, can I just walk through it? They actually had no problem literally hopping on the call with me. I just said, yeah, I'm available at this time. And it's more, and then like it's not even like they tell you the answer, they kind of tell you how to go through the process of thinking, understanding what you had to do. And the last project I worked on was one of my favorites with Professor Yashin, which is the cancer cell detection with nanotube links. And that's one of his projects that he's been working on for 2 years, from which he told me about. And he actually gives us that beginning part of the project to get a better understanding of like a computer vision model, and then using a CNN, VGG16, like a transfer model method, and just work and just giving us like a whole, like giving me like a whole breakdown of the processes I have to go through in order to get where he's at. And even though it's like, and like, I'm not gonna lie, even just like thinking about the logic and going about it, I was highly intimidated. But Yasin, every time I always asked him about like, hey, I just didn't get that, he always made sure to explain everything thoroughly. He sent me the recordings from each one of our meetings, and on top of that, he would send me like he will do a little write out of everything. I would ask him to do a little write out of everything that we talked about, of things that I should address while I'm working on the project. But in my opinion, from the boot camp program I came from, and then from this program, is that the mentors are very more hands-on and more of like help making you figure out how to go about it to get those critical thinking skills like up and going and running. Because at the end of the day, when you come from a boot camp program, you're not really going to have like teaching assistants or any form of assistance. You got to be able to figure this out, a lot of this on your own. And they kind of give you like the ways of thinking, and then even help you prepare for like even potential interviews that come up in the future. I know like even while I was doing the mentorship program, I even asked Yasin and Nihel for advice on like, hey, I found this job, I'm going to apply for it. They even we just stepped away for a good maybe like 20 minutes, a half hour, to discuss maybe how I should go about it as well. And it's basically, it's not like they're not reading off a sheet of paper. They're kind of just like making sure that you have a good and establish a good foundation and understanding of each and every part. And honestly, it's already helped me improve a lot of my data science interviews. I'm currently actually just finished my 4th interview for a data analytics junior data scientist position. for Jetro Restaurant Depot the other day. And they were asking me like, oh, how did with the Twitter machine learning project, how did I go about it? What was my thought process? What's the pre-processes we went through? Why did you include vectorization, bag of words? And I remember even working with Nihal, she kept on adding on after we did one part, like next, let's do this, let's do that. And it's like, you don't stop, like, because you can always keep on improving something. And that's what they show you. In my opinion, this was like, it was a risk. And I honestly love of how I developed over the time. And it's already been paying off. And now I'm up to the internship. And I can't wait to even start that as well, because I feel that I'm prepared to start working on these types of projects on my own. And they've honestly given me a lot of confidence and just in my own ability to talk about a lot of the things that we worked on. But yeah.
Great, thank you. Thank you for the insight, Alex. That was great. So as actually, it was a good transition from you to that internship part. And we had a former student here, he had to actually leave. We didn't have that internship program in the past. He just only took the first 6 weeks. Our first 6 weeks, we were in 15 weeks before. And we really pressure you to finish in 6 weeks, and it does work. We've seen it. So, but now we added 9 weeks extra program, which is an internship part. The internship part, our expectation from students, you just work as a unicorn data scientist, hoping that you all train, you're ready for it. That's for Alex as well. So, so if you go in a company, especially in Silicon Valley, data science is hype, so many people are hiring. Yes, if you go to big companies, they may have more structure, but since it's a new field, a lot of companies don't have a much structure. And you may be assigned to CEO, you may be assigned to chief engineer, or you may be assigned to software engineer, and they may not have any idea about data science. So you will be by your own. So we want to give that experience that you train you as a unicorn data scientist, which you were given a project by mostly product manager or project manager, and you will be running the project with them. That's what most companies do if they don't have a lot of resources, because they pay you a lot, they may not hire another data scientist or senior data scientist and so on and so. So our internship, you will build something with the companies we work with, most of them from scratch or the very significant part of the project. So you might see some of those, forums or Reddit that some people complaining, oh, I did internship with such big company, I didn't do anything. This is just opposite. You do a lot. So, and then you'll do by yourself. And when you do by yourself, you do a lot, you build that. I tell you, like our company is even willing to hire you. That means everyone will be willing to hire you. So this is one aspect. We give you that experience in internship. An internship part, like transition, as Alex think, is taking some gap time because we are matching students. We learn how they have done in the first 6 weeks, their interest. We really match with interest, their skills, their strength, and the fields they can or companies they can work on. So it gives us a good experience to understand the students also first 6 weeks. So I will actually continue to show my screen and summarize it and wrap up the project. Unfortunately, Hussein,
I think he froze. Right? Yeah.
Doctor, but I saw something very interesting.
okay, I didn't know that I am disconnected.
You froze for about a minute, but you're back now.
Okay, that's funny. Should not happen. Okay, I'm in a university network. It should be good, but somehow it happens. And yeah, this is the really hot highlight. Like you'll have so many projects. We'll have interview Q&A. We have career coaching. We have someone that goes and reviews your CVs and LinkedIn profiles, career coach or resume coach. And we give you access to all kind of classes. Let's say we have our full stack data science courses are open to you. But let's say you are working on AI medicine, AI finance, or this very specialty fields. We have specialty workshop and classes just inclusive to our members. We open that as well. If you do an AI finance project, we open that courses to you. So you get some training to do your project. We have all these resources available. As I mentioned, begin 3 challenges: gaps with the real world application, limited mentorship, lack of experience. But actually we have real world projects. I call it all the project real world, but I call it more fresh projects because everyone is doing the same project in data science. If you look at Kaggle and so many other resources, people do the same. CVs are filled with the same projects. So which we come here, we call it fresh projects, new projects. Even when you do 6 weeks training part, you do actual real world recent projects. 5+ mentor, this is really important. We really care our students. We are loaded with the mentors. And we have career coaches. We have people like Semi from industry. They're all accessible to us. They give us guidance what to do. And as you see, internship, but you will have a company experience in Silicon Valley mindset and understand exposure. So your experience, you can show that experience in the company you're affiliated with. You can put in your CV as an experience because you work in this company. And another important thing, we have academy plus industry. Some academy is really good in teaching and many times it's missing the hands-on part. A lot of hands-on people are really missing the core principles. We try to mix those two because we have people like Dr. Jeran is really strong academician and years of experience. We have people like Semi is coming from in the industry and hands-on experience in there. And then next one, our mentors, all our sessions are live. It's not recorded and all that. We record them for every sessions we record and you can rewatch it again. But as one-to-many, one of the important aspects are one-to-many people. And our pricing come to that, we have upfront 6,000. We have monthly payment 8,000. And we have deferred tuition 10,000. Deferred tuition, you pay upfront $1,000 and another 1,000 you pay with the monthly payments. 200 times 5. Like another $1,000, $8,000 you pay when you get the job in, I believe 10 installments. So that is on deferred tuition is only available for US. And currently our actual team has a $500 coupon for today for the first 2. You don't have coupon for the last because you're already taking risk in that aspect. So one question was saying what should be my background? So we've been really selective for this program. So you apply, we interview, this application process, you apply, we interview, and then we understand your needs. We really don't, if we accept you the program, we believe that with our support, you can get a job easily. But as some people need more and more training, we don't accept. But we need that, if we know that you have some transitional training, we accept you, we give you our resources, we say, okay, 2 months you work before you start projects in this platform. We give that transitional part as well. We just try to understand your background with the interviews. So yeah, if you're not sure where you are, we can interview. But most people we recruit, we know that they are almost ready. They improve themselves well, but they're missing those parts will be emphasized. This will be nailing part finding job. And that's why our success with this one 100% is we already find good students. Because the good students need good mentors and programs to just find a good place. So that's why our success is pretty good. So we can evaluate you and see how it is going. And I believe I explained what Zahir asked about how this project works. So let's say I won't give you much detail, but one of the companies that we work with, they build a healthcare robot. And then we assign you with that company's either engineer or product manager. And then they work with you building one part of the robot module in AI. They have so many data sets what they recorded and collected, and you just train your data sets and find the best optimum model for robot to input in the robot and integrate with robot. And you're expected to deploy that model as well. And then eventually in 9 weeks, you're done. It will be great. And some companies let you work after 9 weeks too. So you can have really longer time as long as you just are available to work with it. Even some people find jobs and then they still work on those projects as long as company is okay with it. And that gives you good chance to work with. Let me see if there is another. Oh, this is not in person. We are all doing that online. And so far, all our students online, we see the online benefits. We have students all over the world. But again, income share agreement only applicable to US. Let's see if you guys have any other questions. Okay. See anything I'm missing? So what we are doing with our students, let's say LLM is very popular topic. Every once in a while, we open specific alumni special workshop series about special topics. Let's say last year we did AI in imaging deep learning sessions. We did special NLP sessions. We did medicine session. We have a lot of specialty programs, and like LLMs, we are planning to do something to our alumni special workshops. And we're trying to, our goal is we're trying to keep up with the most recent trends and technologies. Okay, let's see. Anyone else have any other questions? So most of our companies in AI healthcare, AI in medicine, AI in finance, and some in marketing, and some in education. There's a variety of industries we have. We have a good chunk of projects and spots available AI in healthcare. Okay, let's see. We are starting with the Python, and students decide their own. Some use Colab, some use Jupyter, but in most of our projects, especially company projects, people do a lot of AWS kind of platforms. We tend to move them to those platforms. And also we ask the students at least learn either Tableau or Power BI to just have some side, skill set, because so many jobs require it. So it just sometimes we do have a detour in our learning that in projects that we give some skill set to just give additional side is related to project, but side project that they learn those tools. Because we want to keep you up, keep you up with the trends. Yep. And then students in general, if you come up with I will do everything with R, we'll be fine with it. As long as you could do it, it's fine. So Let's see, there is another new question. It's a good question, Nicole. For next one, okay, we have that program start next week. Deadline in a couple of days. We send out emails, and our friends can share the application form on our website. And we have a special coupon for today. It is in the chat. I also tell you something interesting. Recently, there is a popular Silicon Valley journalist. They're really popular in here. They actually recognize our programs very unique and individualized AI data science training. They interviewed with me, and I shared the link. This is linked to file, PDF file, just available to people here because you pay for the article if you go to journal. You can click the link and read about that PDF document, but our overall insights in the industry and why we are unique than others, because they spot that our features, they also find that unique. I share that PDF file. And yeah, I think I answered all that. So I think we really passed over an hour. Thank you for everyone participating. I will share our emails if you have specific questions. Okay. Okay, let me send you possible drive link, which doesn't require. Okay, I will just generate free link, so you don't have to ask for a request. Okay, sorry. Good. And then I will share my info. Dr. Jaran, anything you want to add that I'm missing?
No, thank you. I think we went
Okay.
through. Thank you.
Yeah, you can just send me email or info@magnimindacademy.com or Murat@magnimindacademy.com. We are happy to address your needs and questions. Thank you. Hope you have a good rest of the weekend. Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye,
everyone.
guys.